Next weekend, there's some people that have asked to visit our community, a group of white supremacists. They've not been invited here, and candidly, they're not welcome here. However, they aren't from our community, and they don't speak for our community, and candidly, I don't think they know our community. But in this nation, we have agreed that we have the right to free speech, to say what we think, and I will defend that right even if I don't agree with what you say and what you think, because I want to have that privilege to speak if someone doesn't agree with what I say. So I will, and Lord knows there's enough of those folks, right? So that's another discussion. But that group of people are coming to our community next Saturday, or have asked to do so. And I'm quite certain there will be a professional group of counter demonstrators that will come from someplace else to respond to those people. And so the question that has been asked on many occasions in many places over these last couple of weeks is, what should we do? How do we respond? What's the best response to that? And I have listened and talked to a lot of people about that, and I want to make a couple of suggestions. I would say first and foremost, pray. I truly believe before this is a political issue or an issue for the law enforcement, I think it's an issue for the people of God. And I think we'll win that battle spiritually long before we win it in any physical confrontation. In fact, I think the best possible outcome is it would turn out to be a non-event. And it would look like much to do about nothing, huh? I invited you last week to take a day and fast and pray. When we've done that as a congregation, we've done it many times. We often will do it on Tuesday. I don't know that that's a holier day. It's just kind of the day that seemed to work best. We're not legalist. If Tuesday's not good for you, you are welcome to Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And if you're a zealot, you may have all of the above. But last weekend, hundreds of us agreed to take the 2 Tuesdays that we had one remaining, to fast and pray. And if you missed that, I would invite you to join us. Because I truly believe that ultimately the wrestling match in our lives isn't with people. It's with spiritual forces that are behind that. And I think this is a spiritual victory to be won. We live in a remarkable community. We do. We have tremendous opportunities for our families and our children and our young people. There are so many good things to celebrate. We have so many good churches and so many expressions of faith. We are a very diverse community, and we live together with a remarkable degree of tolerance and cooperation and appreciation for one another in spite of our differences. So I'm not surprised that some goofball from outside our community would want to show up and try to stir the pot. I don't think you can enjoy the blessings that we have without drawing the attention of things that are disruptive. And if we're going to continue to be blessed and watch that flourish, we'll have to learn how to stand in the face of this kind of foolishness. One other suggestion I would offer, and this really isn't mine, it's come from the leaders in the city, is that we not go to the square to present ourselves in opposition to those people that are there. That the best thing we can do is avoid it. It's much like a toddler throwing a fit. You know, they'll turn around in the midst of their screaming to see if you're watching. And if you're not watching, the volume will go down on their fit. And the oxygen that these folks need to thrive is attention from ourselves and the media and others. And if we will look away and pay little attention, I think their interest will diminish quickly. So I would ask you, if at all possible, to refrain from the temptation to go stand and tell them how it really is in our community. I think the best thing we can do is stay home and stay out of the way of those the professionals that have to watch over that. I have participated with a group of pastors in our community in various ways through the years, but a couple of years ago, the mayor and the police chief invited us together to talk about our community. And out of that group, the call came this week and asked if we'd make a little video. And they did, which they posted on the social media Friday. What's today? This is Sunday. I'm a pastor and we're here. This must be Sunday. So I'm quick. The video got posted Friday afternoon, but I wanted to share it with you. If you didn't see it, it's brief, but I think it's self-explanatory.
Hello, I'm Shane McFarland, Mayor of the City of Murfreesboro. No one can deny that we live in a blessed community. We're one of the fastest growing communities in the country, the fastest growing city in the state. One of the things that I'm most proud of in this community is not just that we're growing, but it's the people who live here. That's truly what makes Murfreesboro a blessed community to live in. Many years ago, I was able to get together a group of pastors to come together when we would have issues in our community to be able to unite. So I think the best thing that I can say as a mayor is we are Murfreesboro. We are one community.
We are diverse. We are strong.
We detest inequality. We abhor prejudice, and we denounce injustice.
We are a community that serves others and the world.
We extend grace to those with whom we agree and to those with whom we do not.
We refrain from violence of fist, tongue, and heart.
We are Murfreesboro, and we stand together.
We are Murfreesboro strong. We are Murfreesboro strong.
We are Murfreesboro strong.
We are Murfreesboro, and we stand together.
You know, again, we are very fortunate to live in the community we do with the leadership that we have on so many levels, and I'm grateful for the churches of our community. There are many good churches in the community, and they cooperate in some remarkable ways. Not perfect, and it's not just here. I was invited to a similar gathering in Nashville about the same time that meeting here took place. That wasn't instigated by the political leaders of Nashville, but by the church leaders, and we sat and talked about Middle Tennessee in a larger way. We're very fortunate. Again, not perfect, but I think we are making genuine efforts to understand one another and work together, and it is a very diverse community. They got posted in the social media, and somebody asked me, why it wasn't representative of all faiths. I admit we didn't invite the Buddhists and the Druids and those who worship the sun, and I know that there's a very broad expression of faith and worship in Middle Tennessee. That happened to be a collection of pastors because they started from a set of shared values, and we were simply saying for the constituents we serve, we wanted to honor the Lord. I can tell you the truth, the freedom and diversity and tolerance that we enjoy has emerged from a Christian worldview. Again, we haven't always done that perfectly, but we have done it rather uniquely in this nation. It's been our heritage for more than 200 years. And I know there's those that want to quibble with that heritage, but if you look at a global map today, you won't find very many places on planet Earth that demonstrate and extend tolerance and diversity where there hasn't been a predominant Christian worldview. So don't diminish your faith. It makes a difference. We're delighted to live in a community where there are many expressions of faith and many ways to worship. We don't imagine it's a uniquely Christian community. But we do imagine that our Christianity makes it a more tolerant community and a more diverse community and a better place for all of us to live together. So what do we do next Saturday? We're going to pray. And I would encourage you to resist the temptation to make your presence known on the square. The best way we can help the law enforcement and the first responders, if we're out in public expressing our opinions, they have to watch over us, as well as giving attention to our guests. If we don't create our own initiatives, then they can focus their attention primarily on our guests, and that's a gift to them. I would ask you to pray especially for our first responders next week. And if next Saturday when I go to work, if I have a bad day, it means my sermon's flat and you go to sleep. For our law enforcement folks, when they say goodbye to their families in the morning, if they have a bad day, it means they're not coming home. And they deserve our prayers. And if you didn't know, there's some really good things happening in our community next weekend. At MTSU, they're hosting a band competition. There are hundreds, thousands of folks coming to MTSU from across the state. Convention Center is full of celebrations over there. There are several churches and community organizations having fall festivals for children and families in our community. On the particular campus here, there's a little church called WOC. And if last year and the previous years are in the indication, we'll have more than 20,000 people on our campus. Yes. And again, from past experience, there'll be people here of every color, shape, and size, a very wide array of faiths and backgrounds, and people with no faith. And we will do our best as a congregation to serve every one of those people with dignity and kindness and love and help bless them and their families. In fact, what we're really going to do is try to overstimulate the children, then fill them up with sugar, and send them home with their parents. So if those who want to watch our community are willing to look, there are many expressions of wonderful things that are taking place in our community next weekend that involve tens of thousands of people. as opposed to a handful of people who aren't from our community that would like to gain a lot of attention. So I believe your prayers will make a difference. Amen? All right.